channel, baby.
Yeah.
What it do, Half and J family? Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yes.
It's your boy Half.
And your girl Jay.
And we back
with another reaction video.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back.
We're about to get into some more reactions. I know you guys probably familiar with this this situation right here that occurred, I want to say maybe about a week or so ago, something like that. So, let them know what we're reacting to today.
Okay, so shout out to Fox. Is this Fox News?
I believe so. Live now from Fox.
Live
now from Fox, I mean.
Okay. The video is titled Boulder Terror Attack. Monstrous Firebomb Attack. Plan revealed. So
I don't know if you, I'm sure you guys have seen about that or heard about that or seen it on TV. The man who's accused of the Colorado Boulder attack out there, bomb attack, firebomb, that is. So they're saying that the plan is revealed, you know, as far as the motivation behind it, I guess.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and jump into it. But before we do, everybody that's out there who has not yet subscribed to that channel, go ahead and subscribe, man.
Yes.
Turn your post notifications on.
Yes.
Like and share this video.
Yes.
And then comment down below, baby. Come and join the squad, man.
Half and J.
You did. Plus, you already kicking off. What?
My voice.
Good vibes, baby. Good vibes.
Boom.
As we continue to follow the latest out of Boulder, Colorado, a man armed with a makeshift flamethrower launched an attack on demonstrators in Colorado who are calling for the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza. 12 people were injured, and the FBI described the violence as a, quote, targeted terror attack. The suspect, identified by the FBI as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon, yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack on Sunday. That's all according to the FBI Denver's field office, and authorities believe that Solomon acted alone. But a lot of questions do remain here as we do await more information to come out from officials. And I want to bring in Bobby McDonald. He's a former Secret Service member. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here this morning. And let's just start with this question of what do we still not know here, given your background? When you take a look at what happened in Colorado, what questions still remain for you?
Well, good morning, Christy. Always nice to be back with you. A lot of things going on here, and we really do know quite a bit already. I'm very impressed with the amount of information that we have. This gentleman, and I use that term very loosely, obviously did his homework here. He knew that the parties were going to be holding their vigil in that area, which they did every Sunday. He had the different Molotov cocktails. He had done a number of internet searches on different types of acts and things that he could do to disrupt the situation. So we know a lot here. Law enforcement now is canvassing friends, family, and things of that nature to see what's going on here. Why didn't we see something here? Or why didn't somebody in the family and friends group see something here? It's been indicated that he was planning this for up to a year. So somebody somewhere along the way has been able to see something. They obviously didn't say something, so we could try to nip this in the bud before something tragic happened like it did on Sunday.
And that was going to be my next question for you. You know, if he had been planning this for a year, what you just pointed out, how was this not maybe caught beforehand? And is that going to be a big key piece as this investigation does continue here?
Yeah, I think it will be. And again, we're going to be interviewing friends, family, daughters, sons, wives, things of that nature to try to get that nugget or two or three of information to see how we can put the pieces of the puzzle together here. This guy did his homework and knew exactly what he was doing. We now have the United States government coming in and filing a hate crime charge against him under 18 U.S.C. 249, which carries up to 10 years in prison in and of itself. So a lot of things going on here, a lot of different charts.
Did they say that he was an illegal immigrant?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they said that. If they did, I missed it.
10 years in prison in and of itself. So a lot of things going on here, a lot of different charges. Those charges may escalate depending upon the outcome of the medical situation with the victims. and we'll just have to see where it goes. But it's important that the law enforcement officials here go out, work hard, dot their I's, cross their T's, and make sure they're doing, again, everything perfectly within the law to make sure that a good, solid case is developed here for prosecution.
You mentioned charges, and I do have a question as it relates to he was not in the U.S. legally. Can you go over for us what charges he might be facing?
There it is there. There it is there. There it is there.
In the U.S. legally. Can you go over for us what charges he might be facing, but how does his status there play a role in this investigation, and how will that affect the outcome?
Well, I think it may be a portion of the investigation and a portion of the outcome, but I think the main thrust of the charges here are going to relate to the actions in Boulder. This may be ancillary issues that will come up with respect to his status. It certainly isn't a good optics that we have found now another illegal immigrant here in the country is engaging in this type of nefarious activity, which is causing harm or death or all these different things. So the optics of it, again, are not very good for the situation over the last number of years. But I think the main thrust of the charges here will remain in and around the actions that he participated in on Sunday.
And, going back to this discussion of he had been, planning this a year earlier, we also saw just a week or two ago 2 Israeli embassy staffers shot to death in Washington, D.C. So going forward here, are law enforcement going to be able to really look into how can we prevent things like this from happening, or how difficult is that for law enforcement to get to be in the know, I guess, so to speak, of when things are being planned?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's important for law enforcement to be doing its job every day, but we need the help of the public. We need the help of everybody out there to be situationally aware of what's going on in and around their community. If we see something that's just out of the ordinary, if we see something that's just not right, we need to report that and let law enforcement handle those type of things. We also have to look at copycat issues now. When people see these type of actions going on or this type of nefarious activity, other people try to engage in it in a different place, in a different time, with potentially the same type of group or a different type of group. So a lot of things going on here that law enforcement is going to have their plate very full as we move along, as these issues are still out and about in our society.
One of my last questions for you is, like you said, we actually do know a lot about this already. When can we expect more information to come out here?
Well, he's detained now with a very high bond, which is going to allow law enforcement to go out and canvass the community, canvass his area of residence, canvass any jobs that he's been involved with, canvass family, neighbors, just to get a vibe about him. What was he doing? Where was he doing it? Where did he get all these things? How did he develop his plan to institute or implement, the carnage that he did on Sunday? So we're going to take the very beginning part as the actions on Sunday and work our way backwards to see what things contributed to this very horrible act. And again, how we can try to pick up these things in the community and prevent them from happening. It's not only our job to just put the case together now. We do, as a society, have to try to figure out how to prevent these things from happening.
All right, Bobby McDonald, always appreciate you joining live now from Fox.
That's crazy. I mean, just listening to the story, sounds like he's been over here for a little while, first and foremost. Secondly, he planned it out for at least about a year. And third, it's like, who is to blame? Because if you're over here illegally, how you working? How you getting income? Like, where you getting your financials at? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what job was willing to hire you without no Social Security, without no, U.S. passport or ID or, whatever the case may be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those people are just as guilty to me as he is. You know what I'm saying? You're help funding things like this.
Right, a terrorist.
Yeah, because you can pay him lesser than what you're paying Jim. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, that's another reason why the borders being protected and guarded is so crucial.
Right.
Plain and simple, man.
Just the evil of people. For him to sit and deliberately plan this out for a year.
For a whole year.
Yeah.
You know, right underneath our noses, working with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy to me, though. You know, that's just crazy. Like, and you know, jobs, like I say.
And like he was saying, Bobby was saying, he was saying that, you know, the neighborhoods, the community should be aware of what's going on in the neighborhood, because even when we went to a Crip neighborhood, and remember, they came and checked on us, because they didn't know who we were. Like, even in
You talking about
when we were in LA, and remember we were.
Oh, that little spot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they
Right.
They
was aware.
That's what I'm saying.
It was something out of the ordinary for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They didn't recognize the cars,
right?
Or the faces.
Yeah, the faces. So. Yep. You know, and just how you act, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you act like you're out of place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not familiar with the area, or you're looking up at buildings, and you know that's how they say they be getting tourists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In different countries and cities, things like that, because they're shocked by the big buildings, and
right?
skyscrapers,
Looking up,
taking pictures and videos. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So you always gotta be aware of your surroundings, man. Like they say in the back in the day, you gotta keep your head on the swivel. You gotta keep your head on the swivel. You know, it's not about being nosy or minding your own business. I mean, yes, you can mind your own business, but at the same time, you have to be aware of what's going on, the dangers that's going on around you, because it's danger everywhere around you. You know, believe it or not. You know what I mean? So, you know, just make sure you guys are aware of what's going on out there. Again, keep your head on the swivel.
And if something looks out of the ordinary, make that call.
Make that call and report it, man, because you can save a life or hundreds of lives. You know, you never know. So, don't turn the cheek. That's for sure.
Right.
Do not turn the cheek.
Right.
You know. But anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, so let's jump into some shout outs.
Okay, so first shout out goes to Richard. Dang.
Wow.
I couldn't even get it out.
Oh.
Shout out to Richard Dean. What's up, Richard Dean?
Richard Dean, what's going on, man? Shout out to you. Hope you definitely enjoyed that reaction. Let us know what you thought about it. Comment down below.
Second shout out goes to Chris Brandt. What's up, Chris Brandt?
Chris Brandt. Shout out to you, man. Hope you definitely enjoyed that reaction as well. We thank you guys for always tuning in.
Yes, we do.
We love you guys.
Yes, we do.
Always make sure you guys keep God first.
Most importantly.
And we'll catch you guys in the next reaction video.
Yes.
Peace.